I could have made deals with everybody. I could have made deals in Saudi Arabia. I could have made deals with everybody. They all wanted me to make deals. I said, don't do it. Don't make deals. I knew that doing this would be very expensive because I didn't want to do the kind of things that many other people would do.
Fly me to Cancun, let me screw that old Lone Star down there at the Ritz Hotel.
I happen to be the biggest developer in New York. I'm the biggest developer in the hottest city in the world right now.
I was one of the biggest stars on television.
The biggest of any candidate running.
I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest.
The biggest ever. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
And I had the biggest brigades. I had brigades sometimes with almost 300 motorcycles.
I've always had the biggest crowds. I had the biggest crowd at CPAC.
I've always had the biggest audiences.
And I have the biggest law firm.
I have the biggest.
One of the biggest in the world. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
I had one of the biggest bounces in decades. I get the biggest standing ovations.
I had the biggest standing ovation. The biggest standing ovation.
The biggest support in the history of the party. Biggest floor plates in Manhattan.
The biggest in 50 years. By far and away the biggest ever.
I have the biggest. I
got by far the biggest.
A giant, beautiful, massive, the biggest ever in our country. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Stronger, bigger, better than anybody up here. Nobody bigger. There's no bigger.
I have much bigger crowds than Ted.
A much, much larger crowd. Even larger than that of President Ronald Reagan.
The biggest since Reagan, maybe bigger than Reagan.
Far bigger than Bernie, by the way. Far bigger. I'm bigger than he is. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP. I get calls from people, the biggest people. And I ask some of the biggest people on Wall Street, the smartest, I know them all. I did the biggest deal ever done in the history of our country. I'll give you a letter from the biggest firm in Washington that does my work for me.
The biggest in the history of our country, no matter how long a president's served. I'm the biggest.
I'm the biggest. I am the biggest. I have very powerful hands and large hands.
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
And I'm a big person that believes in very big.
Like many other very big businessmen,
I'm running a very big business. Got a very big call from a very great reporter. I hired a very big contractor. Very big job, one of the largest jobs in Manhattan. I've done a lot of big things.
I own a big chunk, the biggest chunk, big chunk. Big chunk. I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
And I went to Georgia, and we had one of the largest crowds that anybody here has seen ever.
Largest development in the world, actually. I'm the largest employer in the state of New Jersey. I'm like the largest or one of the largest contributors. I'm the largest, by far the largest person in Atlantic City. I'm building a job on the West Side, which is the largest job ever approved by the New York City Planning Commission. I own the largest winery in the East Coast.
I own actually one of the largest wineries in the United States.
The largest bank in the world is in one of my buildings. I have the largest bank in the world.
I've got the largest.
I have the largest.
It's the largest in the world. The largest in the world.
It's enormous. It is so big. It is so, it's so enormous.
I'm Donald Trump.
And I don't have a small PP.
I served with Kevin McCarthy. He's a tool.
Anytime you give me a drumstick.
Oh, yeah. It's the best part.
Hillary Clinton has been the single greatest purveyor of disinformation in the history of our country.
It kind of still shocks me that she's roaming free, that she's doing interviews, that she's actually not in jail.
And so it was his political views that led to you firing Lynn Wood.
A mixture of a little bit of that.
And what else was in the mix?
Just how he is as a person.
And what does that mean?
He's insane.
I was getting into an elevator with one of my staffers, and there she is, Ilhan Omar. And I said, oh, look, the Jihad Squad decided to show up for work today.
By the way, folks, I've renamed the squad the Hamas Caucus.
The line of supporting Donald Trump starts behind me.
In 1917, as you know, we had the Spanish flu.
Oh, I see you in the 5th row with 3 masks. Oh, Dr. Fauci, thank you for coming.
Strangle that Fauci baby in his crib. Rip the Band-Aid off.
You took that cognitive test. I asked Ronnie Jackson. You got 30 out of 30.
If President Trump was still in office, by the way, we'd already have modified vaccines to deal with the new variants.
Count on a variant about every October, every 2 years.
Oh, I think it's going to, yep.
We're going to need a new variant here.
My gosh.
The vaccine is poison. We don't want the vaccine.
The shot, which is designed to see how many people will comply before they bring on the actual Mark of the Beast shot.
Real horror show.
Oh, yeah. It's the best part.
If Roe v. Wade is overturned, you will enforce the almost total abortion ban in Mississippi that exists in the inevitability or in the situation where Roe v. Wade is overturned, yes?
Yeah, I am hopeful, and I think there's some reason to be optimistic that the result of today's argument will be the court finally admitting that was a mistake, overruling Roe.
This is the time to overrule Roe.
So in my case, when you believe in the sanctity of life, you want abortions to be eliminated from the landscape.
The day will soon come when the radical left begins touting abortion as a tool for managing population growth.
Cat turd.
I'm proud to say there is no daylight between me and President Trump.
We're not the fringe. We are the base of the party, which is about 70% of Republican voters.
More. So many of President Biden's nominees are just barking mad. I mean, if you ask them to consider another point of view, their neck veins bulge, and they call you a Nazi.
Those of you who are really big supporters of the vaccination program, you are a new Nazi. Fauci is America's Joseph Mengele.
Joe Biden is a communist, and that's who the Democrats are. They're communists.
Look at that. Still, the communism is burning. The box of masks.
JFK's alive. You'll find out.
JFK's alive. He's alive.
So's Junior. That was more than they can handle.
Cat turd.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president. Sleepy Joe. Could you imagine if I said just a small fraction of the mistakes he makes?
Go ahead, Ken. Chuck Canterbury.
Boot edge. Boot edge. They say edge.
Apple CEO Tim Cook.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
I look forward to solving it.
Thank you, Steve. Christopher Columbus. A majority of Afghanistan.
Lockheed Martin CEO Marilyn Hewson.
I may ask Marilyn Lockheed, Speaker Ryan. I said, Ron, you heard Netanyahu yesterday.
Lumbi Carawa. Special Agent Celestino Martinez. He goes by DJ. We just left pleasure. For paradise. When they gaze upon Yosemite. The diversity lottery with total premedication. Gain momentum. God bless the United States.
I remember the name because I have a good memory. I remember names.
We will follow 2 simple rules. Buy American and hire American.
We have an important jobs report to bring you from Mar-a-Lago. President Trump wins visas to